So, hi everyone. My name is André Larente. I'm the CEO of Diagnos. My background is I have a computer science degree from University of Sherbrooke, and what I'm going to talk to you. Welcome everybody, and what I'm going to talk to you about today is the accomplishment of Diagnos. So, we are an AI company, really specialized in the medical imaging environment, but more specifically from the back of the eye, the retina. So, confidential information. I'm not telling you anything that is confidential. Who we are. So, we're a little company based outside of Montreal. We have 14 employees. We are very, very technical in terms of know how. Our platform is a SaaS environment, so it's a internet platform. We use the cloud to access all the sites where we'll need to do worldwide. And in terms of our people, like I said, we are very, very technical staff, and we'll also have a sales team at the same time. So we use a state-of-the-art technology in terms of execution of the AI piece that does the analysis of these medical imaging, and I'll show you that in a few seconds. And this is to really give better information, better decision making, and also better quality of life for the patients. So the first two are for the clinicians, and the last one, better quality of life, is to make sure that we preserve the sight, the vision of our customers. We have regulatory approvals in many countries. We are actually updating our regulatory approvals right now with the new AI regulation that's been just recently put in place from worldwide, from Europe, from the FDA, from Health Canada, and we're just updating our regulatory approvals as we speak, and they should all be done by the beginning of June. What we do, in a nutshell, is there's a lot of imaging that's done in the world, but we're specifically working with optometrists and endocrinologists in the world. So the picture you see on the left side of your screen here is actually a picture of your retina. So if for those who have eyewear, you probably went to the optometrist and they took a picture inside your eye. So it's a flash that goes in the back of your eye. So it's a 2D image of what's happening inside your eye. So on the left side, you'll see there's the optical nerve, the yellow part, the circle yellow part. You see these blood vessels. So these blood vessels are divided in two. So there's arteries and veins. Then you see a dark round spot on the left side of that image. That's where you actually see. That's called the macula. And the stains that you see in yellow and mauve and other colors would be typical disease that's on your retina. The thing to understand here is that when you have those diseases on your retina, you actually don't feel it. So you have no sign that's physically hurting you. So that's one camera. The second camera is at the bottom of the right side. You'll see a very bright green. This is done with a different type of camera. It's called tomography. And it's actually just taking a picture of the thickness of a membrane that goes from the top of your eye to the bottom of your eye. And this is to really identify if there is disease on your retina, then it will actually be confirmed if it's a severe pathology on the membrane. Here you can see different things that we see from a medical perspective. So retina images. So images are the most commonly seen things with people that are diabetic or suffer from hypertension, for example, art exudates, cotton wool spots, other diseases that are on your retina. Again, it doesn't hurt. When your blood vessels burst and they bleed, they actually have a tendency to create a new blood vessel environment around them. That's very negative, very bad for your health. And so we look for these signs in the imaging of the back of your eye. So we're looking at 5 different tests in the short term. We will have in June 5 approved Health Canada and hopefully FDA approved tests. Today we have one. We have diabetic retinopathy. So this is a test that we do for patients that have diabetes. The second one will be AMD, so for age-related macular degeneration. Third one for what we have on our cardio platform for hypertensive patients. So if you are hypertensive, you're taking medication to control it, then you have the same effect as if you were a diabetic in terms of the pathologies that is developing inside your eye. The OCT is, like I said, a different camera that takes the thickness of the of the membrane behind your eye. It's very important. This is actually required if you're going to have injections in your eye. Governments in the US and Canada, they say that you must have this OCT image done if there's going to be an injection in your eye. This is to help specialists align their injection into the segment of your eye where you need to inject. Later on this year, we will also have glaucoma. We've been working on that. We have the technology. We just haven't tested it in the field yet. But these will be 5 different tests that we will make available to a very large market. So the market that we are going after is an extremely big market. It's about $11 billion in addressable dollars. As you know, the world is digitized now. So all these different cameras that exist in the medical field, they're all digitized. So we can actually use the imaging from straight from these cameras. There's an increased number of eye exam. As the population gets older, there's going to be more complication, and vision is one of the key areas that you need to protect if you want to have a nice retirement. And lastly, there is a shortage of ocular specialists. So ocular specialists meaning optometrists in the world. There's not enough of the optometrists out there. A lot of the optometrists are also getting older, the population getting older, so there's a decline of about 12% on a yearly basis. So the new generation has to be formed, and that's where we come in. So the total addressable market for our solution is about $11 billion. So we have 3 markets. Our primary market is really optical stores. So we've developed our platform to actually help optometrists do a better job at looking at different types of diseases when you go for your annual exam. It's a very, very big market. So we have our first customer, New Look. It's a group of optical stores in Canada, and they have some in the US. They have 450 stores, 410 in Canada, and 40 in the US. They have signed an agreement with Diagnos of 7 years. We have now 50 sites installed, a little bit more than 50 sites, and this is where we test our technology. And we just got the approval to roll out the remaining of the network at New Look. We also won a very large distribution agreement that we think will be a very successful one with the largest optical store, the largest optical provider to optical stores in the world, called EssilorLuxottica. So they have about 300,000 stores as customers. They also own about 18,000 optical stores directly. So this for us is our primary market, and I'll explain to you a little bit more later. Our second market is clinics that are specialized in, for example, in diabetes. Very key market for us. Diabetics are very prone to having eye diseases, and that's where we're going to be working with primary care clinics and helping them manage the care of their patients. Our first customer is LMC in Canada. They own 13 clinics, and they have a little bit more than 100,000 patients that we will be screening starting next month. Lastly, our first market was working with hospitals and governments, and that's where we actually built the technology originally. So we are keeping this as a market. The reason why we're saying it's our third market, everybody probably remembers COVID. So when COVID happened, most of the hospitals shut down their screening programs, for example, for diabetics, because diabetics were very sensitive to this virus. So we actually did hundreds of thousands of patients in this market until it actually stopped during the COVID period. But now it's reactivating. The first one that we can talk about is the Quebec government. So the Quebec government issued a request for proposal that we replied to, and they want to screen 1.1 million diabetic patients in Quebec over 5 years. So you're looking at 220,000 patients per year, and they're looking at doing 4 of the 5 tests that we will have available in the beginning of June. We're also working in Mexico. We did a lot of patients there, and originally prior to COVID. We are looking at maybe later on this year or beginning of next year where they will be restarting these programs. We did over 100,000 patients there. And we also are working with the Saudi Arabia government. We've been there for maybe 3 or 4 years. Same thing, COVID slowed down the whole process, but they are speeding up again. And so we are restarting our screening in hospitals there. And we recently announced a few weeks ago a new member of the board for us, Dr. Philippe Couillard. So Dr. Philippe Couillard worked in Saudi Arabia for 2 years, implementing a clinical process in the whole country. So he will also help us enormously getting our government contacts working for us. Our revenue model is very simple. We are paid on a per fee basis, so per use basis. So if an optometrist gives us 5 tests per day, then we will actually invoice 5 tests at $5 on a daily basis. Like I said, we have New Look has 450 stores, but in terms of optometrists, you're looking at about 1,100 optometrists that work on a daily basis at New Look. So if you do a quick calculation at 7 patients per site with $5 for 1 test, not 4 tests, but just 1, then it gives us revenues potential all the way up to the $5 to $6 million, $12 million. Government and clinics are the same type of process. We charge on a per use basis, so they can send us imaging and actually decide on which test they want to do, test A, B, C, D. That is a very big market worldwide. It has slowed down because of COVID, but we can see signs everywhere that they are actually looking at this to be a very important process to do, because we can actually save money to the governments if they use our technology in our process instead of doing it the way they do it now. The Quebec government has done a study, independent study from us, and they actually came in a conclusion that there is 2 cost saving, one on the actual physical taking the image, analyzing it, and the second one on the treatment. So they can save $84 per patient if they use our technology versus using the traditional way to actually screen their diabetic patients. And 2, on the treatment side, they have an equal number, about $84 per patient in terms of savings of treatment. So the revenue model, optometry per use, government, same thing on a per use, and very low cost when you think of it. Our tests are $5 to $10. So our exponential growth will come in these 3 areas, but our first one will be with the optometry. So like I said, EssilorLuxottica actually has 300,000 patients around the world. We are starting here in Canada, and in Canada there's 5,500 stores available in terms of sales, and they are all customers of Essilor-Luxottica. The second one would be for governments and clinics, because like I said, the Quebec government has issued a request for proposal, but we see a gain of momentum in this area where they really want to access technology to save them costs, and their belief is that artificial intelligence is really good and ready today to help them. A little bit on Essilor-Luxottica, because a lot of people don't know who they are. So quickly, their revenue 24.5 billion euros on an annual basis, extremely profitable, 190,000 employees, and they work in about 150 countries. On the right side, what's really important is that they control the eyewear environment. The eyewear brands, for example, you see all of them here, the vision and eyewear brands also, and direct-to-customer brands. For example, in the US, you have LensCrafter, Pearl Vision. They actually belong to Essilor. So that's where we're going to be starting working as soon as possible with them to grab this low-hanging fruit, as we call it. Our financial outlook, we need to talk about 2024. We responded to the Quebec RFP. It's about a $20 million bid for us. We finalized the final release of our software for optometry. It's in production today, and it's installed in more than 50 sites with New Look. So we are ready to accelerate our revenue growth. The Essilor agreement was signed late December, and that's all getting in position. We think we'll have ready to start selling with them by the beginning of June. We have other deals in Ontario. We also have 4 additional tests that we are going to be receiving Health Canada and FDA approval for by June. So we did a lot of work in 2024 to prepare us for this year. Our revenue plan right now is to do around $6.5 million in revenue. And to make it simple to understand is if we install 500 stores, our expected revenue per store is about $13,000 on an annual basis. And this is including a mix of these 5 tests that we have. Not every single patient will do the 5 tests, but one patient could do 1 or 2 or so. So we come up with this rule where this year we will be doing 500 sites. Year 2 we'll go to 2,000 sites. So 500 plus another 1,500. And in our 3rd year, I think we'll be able to ramp up a lot faster with our distributor that takes care of 300,000 stores. So we've put a number of 8,000 stores in 3 years from now that we want to accomplish. And that makes Diagnos very profitable starting this year, probably towards the 3/4 of the year, towards the end of the year. And then after that, it's going to be a revenue generating company. In terms of our cap table, we currently are trading around the 30 cents range. We have about 75 million shares. We have a stock option plan for our employees. We have a little bit of debt, but it's all convertible. And our market cap is around 24 million. So very, very small market cap. So a very large opportunity to join a company in its beginning. We are covered by an analyst market in Toronto called Echelon Capital. We did not pay for this report. This is something that the Echelon Capital thinks that there's a lot of future in what we do. It's a real solution to address a real problem, and we have a target price in a year from now of $1.50. You can contact the analyst when you want. There's an analyst report. If you need to have it, I can actually forward it if you need to see it. And the report is very well done. They actually contacted all our competitors worldwide, and in there you will see a table. I have a short view of it. Our 2 key competitors in the U.S. are private companies, and we have some in Europe. When we won the deal with EssilorLuxottica, these competitors were there at the table, and we won a big piece of this business. I just want to finish. I have a few minutes just to show you real live examples of what happens when you have this. Very important. So this is the enhancement technology that we've developed. The left side of the picture, the orange circle, is a picture that comes out of fundus camera. We take that and we enhance the images so you can actually see better the arteries and veins and any disease that exists there. Very important. This is an example for diabetics. So this is a patient that's diabetic, but there's no diabetic retinopathy. There's no issue with their eyes. You can see that the image is very clean. This one here is a mild case. If you look at the left side, very hard to determine. But if you look at the right image, you'll see a started of a bleeding in one of the blood vessels. And a very severe diabetic retinopathy case. This is one of them. A lot of bleeding, exudates, and so forth. But the patient doesn't know that he has it. So it's very important to be tested, because the day that disease hits the macula, there's no treatment. And we also, for the optometrist, we actually built a little application that can monitor the visits from one year to the other of a patient, where you can actually see if the disease is regressing or progressing, depending on the treatment they have. So the automatic detection is really important to help the market, the optometrists and so forth, to actually take care of their patients much better and more precisely. And if you're diabetic and you don't get followed, this will happen to you one day. You will wake up, you'll have a black spot in front of you, and you will go blind. And there's no treatment to stop this. So I'm going to finish my presentation. Again, I want to just tell you about Dr. Couillard, who was our Prime Minister in Quebec for many years, who actually just joined the board of Diagnos. We're very proud. We're going to be adding more senior medical staff around us at the board level. So this is my presentation. So I want to thank everybody to listen. I have a few questions here that I'm going to be answering. So what markets are your products available, and what regulatory approval is required? So like I said, we need Health Canada approval here in Canada. We need the US FDA. We also have certification in Europe, CE. What are the milestones for 2024? So the milestone that I actually outlined when I did the presentation there are all done, and we are actually now in the process of commercializing our product and service all across Canada, and in several opportunities we have in the US with EssilorLuxottica. Do your partners promote this service on their websites and POS and store? Well, our customers are starting to putting actually branding our solution, and we don't mind. So they can put, for example, a New Look. They put one other brand is Iris, so they put Iris AI. So they're actually starting to brand are empowered by Diagnos. That's very important. So our technology will be very clearly identified in stores that use our technology, or governments that use our technology, or clinics. It's very important. So you will see our name popping up more and more as we go along this year. We're going to be doing a lot of campaigns also on the social media. So we're going to attract vision in terms of an AI company actually delivering a real live medical imaging solution to actually help our customers. So that's it for me. I don't have more questions here. Hold on. No, that's it for me. I want to thank everybody for coming today and listening to me. I am available anytime you want on my email or through our website. And also we are available on social media, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And I want to